And sitting right next to me is none other than Michigan Congressman Thaddeus McCotter. If intelligence were karaoke, drunk businessmen would take turns doing him on a stage in a crowded bar.
Notorious racist.
Congressman, good to have you here. I have you here to raise the IQ level. Why can't short guys like me serve? I had no idea. I mean, at 5'2", but they're my brothers.
Well, first, Greg, thanks for setting the bar so low.
Yes.
But secondly, the logic behind it is the cohesiveness of the unit in action. These standards are set, and we've seen standards from the past be changed as times adapt, as the military adapts to individuals. So I would think that would be the logic behind it. But I, for one, would be more than happy to see the Army take you and make a man of you.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'd like the Army to take me and make a man of me. More ways than one, though. I got to say, to demonize people who you disagree with. I mean, it happens on the right and the left, but it happens more on the left. It's immediately they draw the Hitler parallel.
Well, I think it's the hypocrisy that the left never gets called on it. When the right makes outrageous claims or calls someone a communist or a socialist, there's always pushback in the media that the right has gone too far, or the person who said it in particular. And when the left comes out and says something like this, it's just taken as if it's happens every day, as it's an observation that somehow has validity to it. But I think, Greg, what it shows is the left has two problems fundamentally with the Tea Party movement. The first is that they believe they've stolen their narrative. Only the left and Joy Behar go into the streets to do the right thing for America.
No, she goes into the streets to buy a hot dog.
No, she was on TV saying, well, that too. That would be a good thing for America, to stimulate commerce. Yeah. But the other part of it is what they really don't like about them is the shock of unrecognition that all the policies that the left has dusted off from the 1970s are just as unpopular and unproductive today as they've ever been. So rather than simply saying that our policies don't work, let's try to do something to do is they blame the victim, the American people, for not liking these policies.
Yeah. What I don't get, okay, look, you're around people every day with different opinions of yourself who could be in Tea Parties and not be in Tea Parties, but somehow when your opinion is expressed, it's always they are worse than Hitler, or you always have to go to a radical ideological extreme.
There's a fundamental difference here. What the communists under Lenin and Stalin did, what the Nazis under Hitler and Goebbels did, was expand the power of the state over the individual. The Tea Party movement's entire reason for existence is to limit the government that is supposed to be their servant, not their sovereign. So they're not asking for an expansion of governmental powers over people's lives, which, taken to the evil extreme that we see from either side of the spectrum, cause such historic suffering and death and tragedy in the 20th century. So his understanding of the Tea Party movement is absolutely backward. But what would you expect from Michael Stivic? Yeah,
I also love the fact that while Congressman was explaining that, he was using his hands, but you can't see it because of the lower third. So all those great hand gestures you were doing were missed. But
I'm about to give you a hand gesture.
Yeah, I know you were. All right. That was unnecessary when you think about it. He's kind of a jerk. All right, Congressman Jerk is what your name is.
That was their last hurrah, which is great.
Congressman, as a Republican, you hate young voters, so this must make you ecstatic.
Well, not really, Greg. Because when you think about it, as someone who's younger than you,
yes,
I can relate to young people, and I think that what Tom was saying about their decisions, first, these are the people who are trying to enter the workforce.
Yes.
And get jobs. So when they don't find any jobs, they get kind of disappointed.
Ah, very good, very good. That was nice.
And I really understood that comment.
Yeah.
Thanks for the gesture.
All of our deaf viewers are incredibly grateful.
Yes.
You just explained all economic problems in about 13 seconds. Remy, Congressman, you're a congressman. How much real work do you do in a day? 36 minutes?
Well, a lot of it, you do a lot of work at home. You do a lot of work in Washington, and sometimes when you're with people like you, time just seems to drag.
But come on. When you think about all the distractions you have today, how much work is done in a real day? Well, focused work.
What's about focus? And Greg, in your mundane Gregologue, you brought up the fact that people would write screenplays. Now, sometimes very creative people tend to have diffuse thoughts, and they don't distill them into a tremendous masterpiece like Swamp Shark.
Yeah, that was fantastic. You saw it. Yeah.
I stand by that.
This women can multitask thing is all over the media, and I think it's dangerous because it makes women think they can do more than they can, which is why they'll be on the highway.
Well, I think men...
No.
Guys drive like this. One thing.
But women are actually, Bill, they're doing their makeup, aren't they? They're driving, they're doing their makeup, they're breastfeeding.
Yes.
They're breastfeeding their baby while applying makeup to their baby.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
Truly, sisters are doing it for themselves, but you know what they're doing? Stupid girly stuff.
They're doing girly stuff.
Stupid
yeah,
girly
it's
stuff.
not multitasking if it's girly stuff.
Yes.
Cut down a tree while drinking a 12-pack.
Just because your My Little Pony's hair is combed doesn't mean you accomplish anything.
Yeah,
Look, I hate to point this out.
We got to move on quickly, sir.
She's right.
Yeah.
Meathead only hated the Tea Party. She hates a whole lot of different things.
Yeah.
So she's
You're a multitasking racist.
Hater.
Congratulations on hating everybody in this world,
I think you're all
Remy.
threatened because you're not capable of multitasking, and you know that I'm right.
I'm just not capable of that kind of hatred.
Yes. Okay.
Congressman, you said the logic behind it is the cohesiveness of the unit. Do you mean for the height requirement?
Yeah, because of the way that the unit has to interact, the equipment that may be used. They were looking for rationales for it.
Oh.
But as you point out, Andy, by talking about the different height requirements in the Navy, you have submarines that may have more constricted spaces. So
right.
These standards evolve over time.
Okay.
One of the things they're very much against is sending pictures of the unit to a sideline reporter. You're not supposed to do that in the Army. Or in the NFL when you think about it.
Got somebody
Maybe. Who cares?
Rob Reiner compares Tea Parties to Nazism. Congressman, you said that instead of saying that their policies don't work, liberals just blame the victims. But here's the thing, Congressman. Liberals are much smarter than the rest of us. So isn't it our fault for not understanding that things are being done for our own good?
Well, I think that there is a sentiment out there from the left that they are smarter than us. But, Andy, we all know no one is smarter than you.
It's a good point. I can't argue.
Yeah. You're so used to hearing it, aren't you?
No, that's actually might be the first time in my life.
All right.
Yeah, and it wasn't even serious. How sad is that?
No, it wasn't at all.
Yeah. By the way, in my years of working in Hollywood, Rob Reiner was the biggest schmuck I met.
Really?
Easily. Not even close.
Like, what did he do?
Well, once I had to sit there and listen to him pontificate about why Saving Private Ryan was not a very good movie.
Ooh.
That was fun.
Yeah, that really pissed me off.
No, it was just. But you have to know or have met Rob Reiner. He's loud. He's obnoxious. He's just a human being.
All right.
I think we can all agree that Private Benjamin was a delight.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, Reiner's last movie, Flipped, opened on September 24th and has grossed a grand total of $1.7 million.
Ooh, he bowled the deuce.
More like flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you might actually. Hey, Congressman, wouldn't it be great if the Republicans had a fairly young guy who maybe played in a band running for public office or national office?
Yeah, and if Huckabee could play six strings, it might have been him.
Little dig at the governor.
Well, I dig at bass players, actually.
Remy, you said that
He no longer has any ties with the Klan.
Lastly, Gregolog Sloth. Congressman, Greg asked you how much work you actually do, and you said, well, I do a lot of work at home.
Yeah, it's called a district.
Yeah, tweeting about Swamp Shark is not work.
Dude, I could also say that your job is not particularly taxing.
I will say, reading your tweets about Swamp Shark is work.
You're just mad because I said you were the first person I'd like to turn into a Swamp Shark snack. Although you probably give the bastard
I actually took that as a compliment.
And you are the smartest man in America.
Yes. Lastly, Remy,
Weird thing, after that was taped, all those children disappeared. Yeah, strange mystical power she has. Apparently she has a little bit of a crush on you, Thaddeus McCotter.
Oh.
Well, clearly you take after your father because your mother's wonderful. Unlike Levy, she would appreciate the genius of Swamp Shark.
Yes, she would, definitely. All right.
Plant that she likes in her show.
all right. Hey, Congressman, what's this?
This is the man, my brother Dinky, who has borrowed my Stratocaster for the past 7 years, and I'm asking any red-eye viewer that runs into this miscreant to please demand that he give me my Stratocaster back.
He looks a little like Joe the plumber.
As Dinky is armed and lecherous, I have to warn you.
Yikes. All right, Bob.
Go away.